Hello everyone, welcome to another video. As you saw from the title, we're talking about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The game has been out for a couple of years now and its popularity has risen with it. Now, I may not have a Nintendo Switch, but that doesn't mean I'm not familiar with the Super Smash Bros. Series. The game is like number 3 on my all-time favorite list. I love Super Smash Bros. Melee. I remember me and my brothers used to play that from dusk till dawn all day, just until eyes got red. Whether we were trash talking against each other.
Stop talking, shut your mouth real quick.
Or losing to the hardest CPU difficulty level. Which is really hilariously fun. I remember those times. It just brings back great times. Or even failing at target tests. You guys remember target tests, right? Well, at least the ones in Melee. Wait, did the target tests even change?
You're stupid.
Anyway, I feel like I know everything about the game there is to know, especially in the sense that the diversity in characters is definitely more expanded than when I last played Melee. Characters like Cloud, Strife, and Snake are in the latest installments, which is good to know, knowing that they've definitely grown from previous adaptations, especially in the roster size department. I mean, Melee only had 24 playable characters, and they increased the size from 24 to 37 in Brawl, I think, which I thought was a much bigger upgrade. 13 characters, that's a good roster upgrade, I think. Well, that's nothing compared to what Ultimate has, which it earns the title Ultimate because it has a 75-man roster. Well, originally it had 69, but 6 of those being the addition of the DLC characters, but that's still pretty massive. I mean, come on, 75, 69, doesn't really make a difference either way. In any case, I thought they could still use room for improvement in the branching out department. I mean, they have 6 DLC characters, but it's not really that a selection that fans would awe over. It's kind of a 6 that they randomly chose, and they're pretty decent in the game, but it's not some that we would really, like I said, baffle over. So once again, I thought I'd touch up on that topic. How diverse can it possibly go? And once again, we're leaving the license possibilities out of this because that ruins the fun. So without any further ado, here's 5 characters they should add in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
The search for something greater. The world is full of unanswered questions. Beyond all limits.
Coming in at number 5, we have the sexy, iconic Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series. Now, Lara Croft is a fictional character and the main protagonist of the video game franchise called the Tomb Raider. She is presented as a highly intelligent and athletic English archaeologist who ventures into the ancient tombs and hazardous ruins around the world, and somehow comes back without even a scratch. Nah, actually, she does get hurt severely. Now, personally, I think Lara would be a perfect character in Super Smash Bros. Melee. In terms of fighting style, I think she'd be like the Zero Suit Samus. She's got 2 guns, like the Samus girl, so I think, it makes sense that they would play to her strengths like that. I mean, also it's Super Smash Bros., so they could use the guns in a variety of ways. Now, other than her 2 guns, I think they would allow her to use things like her bow and arrow that she uses throughout the game. She also has like a spike wrench, I think it is. She uses it to climb surfaces, but she also fights enemies with it. So I think they could use all that. Kind of like Link has a bunch of different abilities. They'd probably do the same with her. So that'd be pretty cool to see. Also, I would like to see how they would customize her. I mean, she has many different appearances throughout the games. Not only that, but I played 2 of the Tomb Raider games and I really like them both. I think the exploration and the graphics were on point. Story was here and there. But anyway, I think it would be cool to see her on this game. I think it'd be fun because she jumps so freaking high. So yeah, she should definitely be in this game. Especially if you have the Wii Fitness character. You can put anybody in the game if that's the case. Coming in at number 4, we have Kazuya Mishima. Now, Kazuya is a fictional character in Bandai Namco's Tekken fighting game series. First featured as a protagonist in the original 1994 game, he's also the son of the worldwide conglomerate Mishima Zaibatsu CEO Heihachi Mishima. Kazuya seeks revenge against his father for throwing him down a cliff years earlier. That sucks. Kazuya then becomes corrupted in later games, seeking to obtain more power, which he does eventually because he is possessed by the devil gene, a mutation which can transform him into a demonic being known as the devil. Now, I've played Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and it was Tekken 5, I think, and in each of those games, he was my favorite. I think they would use his fighting style in a pretty unique way, like his variations of kicks and uppercuts in the Tekken games. But to be honest, I don't really know how they would make his moveset. Considering I've never seen Ryu in action, it's kind of tough for me to kind of just, throw a random guess out there of how he would be. Maybe he would be a good fighter, maybe he wouldn't. I know they would utilize his rage arts pretty well. That would be pretty fun to see with his ultimate ability, yeah. I would love to see his rage arts. However, based off my experiences with Kazuya, I think he'd make for a pretty interesting character in this game. Coming in at number 3, we have Ezio Auditore di Frenzy. Now, this was way back when Assassin's Creed was at the peak of its story and gameplay. Ezio was at the helm of it all. Not only are his assassin skills and stealth skills on point, but the man's got charisma, for God's sake.
Aspetta, I wasn't ready. I was planning on being really charming and funny. Can I just have a second chance? Oh well.
Now, I know that has nothing to do in a fighting game, but I do consider it an essential quality in life, and he has that. In terms of fighting, I think he'd just be nostalgic to use, considering the history some people would have had with him playing the Assassin's Creed 2 and how famous the games were. I think it'll definitely upend Nintendo sales a lot. I think people who play other consoles would literally buy a Switch just for him, or those who already have a Switch would be more inclined to buy the game because he brings back a nostalgic feel, when the Assassin's Creed games were actually good. Not saying it's a bad game, it just doesn't have that same Assassin's Creed feel as it used to. The game is tending more towards a RPG side. That's not necessarily bad, it's just not the same feeling that we used to feel, and that's the nostalgic feeling we have for Assassin's Creed. Overall, I think Ezio Auditore is a badass character, and a lot of people would like him in this game.
Dexter! Don't thank me. I'm only here because you wouldn't last a second without me. Okay, tough guy. You got us into this mess.
Coming in at number 2, we have Jak and Daxter from the Jak and Daxter series. Now, Jak and Daxter is a video game franchise created by Andy Gavin and Jason Rubin and is owned by Sony Computer Entertainment. The games are considered story-based platformers that feature a mix of action, racing, and puzzle solving. The series is set in a fictional universe that incorporates science fantasy and like a steampunk era, which reminds me of Cyberpunk. Okay, actually it doesn't. I just wanted to throw that in there. Anyway, these characters bring nothing but memories to me. This was the first PlayStation 2 game I had, and let's just say it was the most brilliant experience to start with. I think they could easily implement them in this game, kind of like how Ice Climbers were in Super Smash Bros. Melee. They had 2 characters and they kind of were like support. You'd use the blue one as the main one, but the orange one would kind of help you and back you up a little bit. Also, if you didn't know, Jak has dark and light abilities. Dark turns him into a raging monster, and light basically turns him into a god, which I also think they could utilize to his strengths. Considering Bayonetta can stop time in the game, Jak's light powers, or god powers, allows him to do the same thing. He would like clap his hands and he would stop time. So I think that'd be pretty cool to see implemented in this game. Anyway, I just think he would be an amazing implementation. I feel like it would definitely bring a small number in sales. Not only that, but I feel like it would really show how versatile this game is. And I think more people would buy it, considering, that if they put Jak and Daxter in this game, then they might put Ratchet and Clank. So it kind of works as a sense of manipulation, because if you didn't know, Ratchet and Clank It's a platformer like Jak and Daxter, but a little bit more popular. I already have loads of memories of playing Jak and Daxter and playing Super Smash Bros. To be honest, the Super Smash Bros. Was the first game I ever played on the GameCube, and Jak was the first game I ever played on the PlayStation. So if you combine those two games together, I don't think I'll be able to contain myself.
It's strange having a home.
I must say, I never pictured you owning real estate.
Coming in last, we have the Butcher of Blaviken himself, Geralt of Rivia. Now, this shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, considering within the last 4 months, I think it was, The Witcher 3 converted over to the Nintendo Switch, and a lot of people have liked it since then. I also think it's bumped up their sales by a good margin, so if there's any inclination to bring him over, it would be at a time like this. Now, Geralt of Rivia shouldn't be a stranger to this as well. He's been on other fighting games before, but this would definitely be so much more tangible than something like the Soul Calibur series. I think he'd fit in perfectly, considering they have like 7 other Swords guys in the game. But I think what would separate him from them is that his diversity in fighting, his fighting style is definitely unique, as I'm sure a lot of people experience while playing The Witcher 3. It's definitely his own, and it would definitely separate him from being different from the 7 other Swords guys in the games. But I think they would also make good use of his actual equipment, kind of like how Link does. They'd probably let him use his bombs, his crossbow, maybe even his Witcher senses, who knows. Not to mention, how could I forget, he also has signs, so there's a little more diversity there. I think bringing Geralt of Rivia in this game would actually blow up in sales, considering how well the console sales have been doing with the addition of The Witcher 3, concerning the feedback from fans, how much they like the game already. I think this would just be a huge bump for the game in general, and it would definitely make fans realize from purchasing the game for just Geralt and playing this game, they would actually really see how fun the Super Smash Bros. Is in general. So I think it would really help the sales, not only in just the games, but I honestly think people would actually just buy a Nintendo Switch just to play Geralt of Rivia on Super Smash Bros. In any case, that's just my opinion. You know, I have no idea what the license terms or the permission terms they would have to do just to bring over a single one of these characters. However, I do know that this is the exact lineup I would choose if I was pointed to directly. If they asked me to choose 5 characters to bring in this game, that is the 5 characters I would bring. But anyway, like I said, that would just be my opinion. I would love to hear you guys' feedback on what 5 characters you would want in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Or more importantly, which characters do you think they'll actually choose in the future? It's up for grabs. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, I would be very grateful if you liked and subscribed. It would definitely make my day, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.